Premiering at the Hot Docs Canadian International Documentary Festival in 2019, Take Me to Prom showcases the progression of social acceptance of the LGBTQ community in Canada spanning over 7 decades. Directed by Andrew Moore, Take Me to Prom features stories from 7 individuals, ranging from 17 to 88 years in age, expressing their high school prom experiences through a rare queer lens. This presentation will analyze the contributions of mode, content, and style to produce the final form of this short documentary. Take Me to Prom is primarily defined by the expository mode, with secondary participatory techniques used to deliver the film's content. Nichols defines the expository mode as prioritizing the spoken word to advance the documentary's subject matter and perspective. Using imagery and found footage as well as visual support, expository leans strongly on elements of commentary and title cards to convey a message. Participatory describes documentary in which the filmmaker is directly involved with generating the film's content, often featuring the filmmakers on screen in some form to enable the expression of more subjective, emotive reactions to a subject. Take Me to Prom is driven by the commentary of the 7 social actors whose stories about their personal prom experiences paint a larger picture of the development of queer rights from the late 1940s to the late 2010s. In expository documentary, commentary is used to suggest objectivity and credibility, and is supported by imagery that is not necessarily related to the social actors, instead used generally to shape perspectives and set tone regarding the topic. Moore leans heavily into these techniques with Take Me to Prom, borrowing prom-related images and film clips from the relevant decades for viewers to engage more deeply with the subject's experiences. The found footage acts as B-roll to complement the participants' narration as they recount their lived experiences, effectively contributing to the film's tone and informing the commentary. Editing also is used in the expository mode to establish and maintain the continuity of the documentary's message and perspective. In line with this technique, Moore assembles Take Me to Prom chronologically, clearly establishing a narrative structure across the 7 interviews. The format of the interviews is consistent, with each interviewee speaking about both their experience attending or missing their prom and their specific queer experience during the time, which provides viewers with a stable understanding and consumption of the film's message. In this way, Moore borrows techniques from participatory mode to gather the relevant information and stories to present a coherent message to the audience. Interview is utilized in participatory as it enables the filmmaker to be a presence in the film. In his 2016 documentary Tickled, David Farrier conducts interviews as investigation into the film's subject. He is frequently on camera with his questions included for viewers to hear. Moore's application of this technique is more subtle, as he never appears on camera, only including his voice when asking the interviewees to elaborate. By allowing himself to be heard in these moments, he gives a voice to the audience, in turn increasing engagement and allowing viewers to have complete access to the social actors' emotional responses and therefore their experiences. For example, in the film's 6th interview, Carmen speaks vaguely to Moore about her identity during the time of her high school prom, prompting him to ask, "And who were you at the time?" This is followed by an uncut 34-second clip of Carmen as she processes the question, takes the time to respond authentically. Engaging in this element of participatory mode allowed Moore to deliver the most engaging content, enabling viewers to really sit with the participants as they share their experiences. Ultimately, this technique is used to supplement and advance the overarching narrative, complementing the expository mode as the primary mode of Take Me to Prom. Despite primarily working in observational mode with his past work, Moore approached Take Me to Prom more intentionally. Rather than interview all of the social actors in a neutral space, Moore worked with the set designer Louis DeFilippis to create sets that reflected the era and decade being discussed. Each participant is interviewed in spaces that not only reflect the time of their prom, but are also curated to match their personalities. The imagery supporting their commentary is similarly presented on TVs from the relevant decade with the appropriate props such as a Nintendo 64 game controller from the early 2000s, accompanying footage from Mark Hall's 2002 prom experience. In his work, Moore aims to capture moments of vulnerability, with the focus on stories of family and identity. He injects these same values into Take Me to Prom, experimenting with the expository and participatory modes to deliver the film's content. Using primary elements of interview, commentary, and B-roll, and secondary elements of participation, more curates take me to prom in a unique and intimate style that effectively projects the perspectives and identities of the participants to communicate a clear narrative and message. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Goodbye.